Hey everyone, it's your girl Tara Michelle. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Opinionated Scents, our safe space to discuss all things fragrance, whether we like them or not. Welcome back to the Notes series. Today, we're going to be discussing all things almond. Let's jump right into the video. First up on my list is one that takes a little while for the almond to kick in for me. In the air, it is almost not present at all, but on my skin, once the mid comes in of this fragrance, that is when I pick up on the almond. I'm talking about none other than Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. That beautiful, beautiful stiletto. Oh, I love the packaging on this baby. So Carolina Herrera's Good Girl is a fantastic blend of tuberose and sambac jasmine. And then you also have the almond, the cacao, the vanilla, and the tonka bean. I'm telling you, this fragrance here for me really hits home with that tonka bean cacao almond duo. Of course, in many fragrances, I have smelled the jasmine sambac and the tuberose, working together. So I know I love that type of opening. I know that type of combination of floral appeals to me. But it's the mid and the dry down. Once those two florals die away a bit, that I can feel and smell the almond and the tonka bean and the vanilla and the cacao just blend beautifully. And again, I get it more on my skin than I do on the stick. Oh, I recently sprayed it. This smells so good. Whenever I'm mentioning my most complimented fragrances, I always forget this one. I haven't worn this since COVID because this was my going out fragrance. If I was going to a poetry slam, open mic night, an art opening, a gallery opening, a showcase of some sort, this is what I wore. I got so many compliments wearing this. It was kind of like my very own version of Trésor La Nuit, because everybody used to say when they went clubbing, they wore Trésor La Nuit. Well, I never lived that type of life of clubbing and all that stuff. My clubs were gallery openings and art and poetry. So this one is very beautiful, and the almond note is one that you have to wait for, and it is a surprise. And I also know a lot of people who don't ever pick it up. They don't get the vanilla, the cacao, or the almond. They just get the florals and then the tonka bean, which really isn't a bad, combination either. But the almond speaks to me in this. Yeah, I love it. Next up, we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Dior and a dupe that I have for a version of it. So this is Hypnotic Poison from the house of Dior. And this is Hypnotizing Venom from the house of Dua. And this is based off of the vintage formulation of this fragrance, I do believe. So this one here is more potent. It's stronger. It's deeper, it's darker, it's sexier. So I can see why so many people complain about this one not being what it used to be, like being a shadow of its former self, because this one is so good. So I like them both. The almond is very prominent. You get the apricot and the plum in here too, but in that opening for me, it's all about that almond and that vanilla. This makes a lot of people's top 10 favorite vanilla fragrances because of that. But I think it's that almond working with it that makes this just as good as it is. So again, that's Hypnotic Poison from Dior and Hypnotizing Venom from the house of Dua. This next fragrance replaced the OG in my collection because I love it so much. The pineapple note, the pear, the pistachio, the orange blossom. This fragrance is so amazing. The bitter almond note in here works so well with the orange blossom, the vanilla, and the pistachio. This is Girl of Now Shine from the house of Elie Saab. So this is a nutty fragrance, fruity and nutty and weighted, because it does have that beautiful orange blossom and that vanilla just to bring some heaviness that is perfect for fall. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I just love the way pistachio and bitter almond work together to give you a nuttiness that isn't too strong and too potent, but lasts throughout the entire life of the perfume. That's what is key with this. Sometimes almond is really, really soft and can fade away. you're going to get that nuttiness all the way through with this one. So I absolutely love this one. Again, that is Girl of Now Shine from the House of Elie Saab. Next up, we're going to talk again about this beautiful fragrance because she has made some appearances recently on my channel. This is Armani Code Cashmere. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful orange blossom fragrance. As I stated before, this is your heliotrope, this is your iris, it's your orange blossom, your jasmine sambac. Then it also has like leather and incense and patchouli and suede, and just gets deep, dark, and rich in there. But it's this note of almond milk that vibes throughout this entire fragrance, and I get it from beginning to end. It isn't the most potent note, but I think that it really works beautifully with the orange blossom. I just love the combination of almond and orange blossom, and it just also seems that jasmine in some form and variation is always there as well. But for all of the incense talk and leather and suede and patchouli, this is so beautifully crafted that none of those notes, which otherwise might scare me off a little bit, matter in this fragrance to me. It's so well blended, and the orange blossom is truly the star, aided by that lovely almond milk. I just appreciate the craftsmanship of this fragrance. This next fragrance is a fragrance that is extremely beautiful to me, but it is very subtle, it is very quiet, and it is not worth the price tag that they are offering this for. I really feel like you need to hunt and wait for a great deal on this. This is Lalique Soleil. You're paying for the bottle. With Lalique being a glass maker or something like that, you're absolutely paying for the bottle and maybe the little bracelet that comes with it. This has a lot of notes in it, but what I will say is the almond done in here is amazing. I think you get two types. I think it's bitter almond and candied almond, and the use of almond in this is absolutely stellar. If nothing else works in this perfume for you, then those two will. It's just pretty. I mean, it has so many notes in here that it touts that you would think that this would be a powerhouse beast mode fragrance. And it is one of the softest, most subtle, really pretty, really, really pretty. But I just expected more from all the hype and the price and the notes. So it is pretty. I don't recommend that anybody run out and get it unless you can find it for like 50 bucks or less. But the list today, the focus today is about almonds. And this is one of the best ones I have in my collection. When I talk to you guys about the note of almond, I cannot throw out the pairing or the combo of almond and sandalwood. This is Ambre Vanille from Mercier. Pretty. Just so pretty. Such a cozy, warming fragrance. If you are at home and you want to warm up in front of the fireplace or on the couch wrapped up in your comforter, if you don't have a fireplace, because not everybody is able, this is one of those Netflix and chill fragrances. I guess it would be really pretty for date night too, especially if you wanted to cuddle, after said date. But this is one I tend to wear around the house because it's so warm and it's so cozy and inviting, and it can be sensual too. But baby, I really do love the almond note in this. This is very gourmand to me. This is very like edible, like, let's just, sit on the couch together and feed each other chocolate covered strawberries type of vibe. This one is another pairing of almond and sandalwood. Proof positive that they just go really well together. This is Marc Jacobs Perfect Intense. Now, you guys know I'm also going to be talking about Perfect as well. How could I not? It came out first. But I really love the use of almond in this with that sandalwood. And when you have the narcissus and the night blooming jasmine just leading the charge, this is one of my favorite purchases of 2021, hands down. So we did get a little switch up here. You still have your narcissus, but instead you're going to get you some rhubarb in here, and it's almond milk in this one. So it's more creamy to me. And instead of having sandalwood, you get your cedar in this one. So this fragrance is just so stunning. The rhubarb note in the top of this makes this smell like Jolly Ranchers to me. Jolly Ranchers from my childhood. This fragrance makes me so happy. But there's an almond milk in this that plays on my skin so beautifully, and it just makes it creamy, and it works so beautifully with the cashmere and the cedar and the dry down. So yeah, Marc Jacobs, I love his use of almond and almond milk in the Perfect series. He did a really good job on both. Let's have a little sip here. It's only befitting seeing as how there's a vodka note in here, which I don't pick up, thank goodness. So this is Pepe Jeans For Her. This is the martini glass. I recently talked about this on my channel as well. So this here has almond and almond milk in it to go along with marshmallow. Come on, guys. You already know this is absolutely fantastic. So, you know, this almond is throughout. The almond is throughout. You get a little bit of nuttiness, but you also get the creaminess, and that's because it's using almonds and almond milk. And it's just a pretty fragrance. There's not a lot of longevity or projection here, but the fragrance is relatively cheap if you can find it, because it's always sold out. So it is a beautiful, nice home scent, like a cozy scent, or if you're going to be up close and personal, date night, late night type of fragrance. But again, if this list is about the notes of almond, there's no way I can leave this one off. Once again, someone was brilliant enough to put almond with pistachio. And in this one, they even brought along some caramel. This is Sol de Janeiro's Cheriosa 62. Whether you have this one or the body spray, you are winning in life. They both smell so amazing. But this one here, I love it. It's beautiful for when you're on vacation, you're on a beach at night, maybe having dinner at night, or taking a walk hand in hand. It's a very sexy, very intimate, very sensual fragrance. I love it. Again, I love the nuttiness of the pistachio and the almond together. Caramel always makes everything better, and the heliotrope in here too. It's just a beautiful, my gosh, man, they hit it out of the park with this one. Like, great job, great job. Again, we have a combination of almond and sandalwood. Of course, you're going to get your hawthorn. You're also going to get your pear in here. I was recently just talking about this fragrance. This is Donna Aqua from Valentino. Beautiful. One of the most beautiful almond fragrances in my collection. The bottle or packaging doesn't hurt either. It's so stunning, but I love this fragrance. I'm now that my decant is gone, or my travel size is gone, I'm really scared to use this because it's so hard to find, and when you do find it, it's for so much. I think it was discontinued, and it's just a beauty to me that I don't want to ever be without. So I'm going to use it sparingly, but not so sparingly, because I also don't want it to go bad. But oh, Donna Aqua, definitely a beauty. That is it for my almond list. I do want to say that this list leaves off so many fragrances from my collection, predominantly those ones that have the pairing of almond and cherry. I grew up using that cherry almond from Jergens, baby. I know that combination works, but those are newer to my collection, and I don't know. I don't own the actual Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I have dupes, and I do love them, but the almond note isn't the same vibe as the ones that I chose, and it isn't as strong or lasts as long in those cherry heavy dominant fragrances. So I do want to hear from you guys. I absolutely want to know, what is your favorite almond fragrance in your collection? Please leave it in the comments below. And I know a lot of you who can see my collection behind me are probably going to be like, oh my goodness, you didn't choose this or this or this. I know a lot were left off. I had about 49 almond fragrances in my collection, but I always do a top 10 in this series. So something was gonna not make it, you know? So I do apologize. That doesn't mean I love them any less. These are just the ones I know are tried and true, and you really pick up on the almond in them, or at least I do, at some point during the fragrance, enough to make it worth it being on an almond note list. If you're still here, please do not forget to click the like button, subscribe to my channel and join the Terror Squad, and also click that notification bell so that you never miss any of my future uploads. I want to see you guys in the comments, and until then, bye.